Hi everyone, this is Sona from Dynasty Studios. In this video I'll explain the basic gameplay of Providence available in our second playtest. Providence is a multiplayer survival shooter that combines elements from survival, roguelike, and extraction shooter genres, and involves different mechanics and gameplay features. The main purpose of this demo is to showcase our gameplay flow we call Survival on a Loop. This loop takes place between two types of worlds, homesteads and slip worlds. Let's take a closer look at each world now. Once you log in and hit play, you will end up in an example homestead. This is your home base where you craft items, assemble your loadouts, and progress your character. This is also where you would build your home, piece by piece with various customization options, but we disabled the building feature for the time being. If this is your first time, you will not have any resources since you need to extract them from slip worlds first. When you do have some resources extracted, they will appear in this orange storage container. Inside your home base, you will find various stations like this consumable station where you can craft consumables such as healing potions or cook food. And this is the crafting station where you craft items such as armor pieces and weapons. Once crafted, you can add them to your loadout at the loadout station. You can also track the resources needed for an item by clicking track. We have no resources right now, so let's go ahead and venture down to a slip world. We do this by interacting with the dropship behind the homestead. In this playtest we have 4 pre-made loadouts for you, but you can create your own or customize this as you see fit. Each loadout has a different weapon and different armor set. The armor sets miss their helmets. This is intentional. Based on the loadout you choose, the game will activate an objective for you to get the necessary materials, so that you can craft that helmet. Once you pick the loadout you like, hit ready and select the Slipworld server from the lobby to start your expedition. For testing purposes, we intentionally created a small Slipworld for 8 people, consisting of 4 teams of 2. On the Embark screen, you can get an overview of your team, your loadout, controls, and the general objectives. Once you're ready to go down to the Slipworld, hit ready. Before we take a deeper dive, let's go over some basics. You move using the WASD keys and space to jump. You can use left control to dash or dodge. You can also use C to crouch. You use left mouse button to shoot and right mouse button to aim down sight. You press Q for your special weapon ability. The abilities you get through shards, which we'll explain later. You can melee attack pressing the F key. You can open your inventory either using the tab or the I key. If you have multiples of an item, you can shift click on it to split it. Holding down the left mouse button, you can drag an item out of the inventory to drop it on the ground. This covers the basic controls. Let's go over the HUD real quick. On the bottom left, you have 3 bars on your HUD. The yellow bar at the top is your energy bar. You spend energy whenever you dodge or dash. The green bar in the middle is your health bar. The blue bar at the bottom is your shield bar. On the midsection of the bottom part, you have your Memoria counter, which I'll explain later, your quick bar for consumables, and a bottom bar that shows the shortcuts for various menus. On the bottom right part of the HUD, you see your weapon. The ammo is infinite, but you do have to reload, which you do by pressing the R key. The triangle you see is your weapon ability bar. When you have a weapon ability, the Q hotkey will become available. You get weapon abilities through shards, which I'll talk about later. Behind the weapon you can see your tool, which you can switch to using your mouse scroll. You use your tool to harvest and pick up objects. We'll talk about the tool more in detail when we explain harvesting at a later point. Now let's go to the top section of the HUD. On top left, you see the build version. We will likely update this build quite frequently throughout the playtest phase, so keep an eye out on the version number and check the patch notes for changes. The top middle section is your compass. This is where you'll see various points of interest you have discovered, or camps you have placed, or your corpse if you die. You'll also see your teammates and whatever they ping using the ping system. You ping by clicking the mouse scroll. The ping system is context sensitive by default. This means that the icon will be assigned depending on the object you ping. You can also hold down the mouse scroll to manually place an icon. On the top right, we have the slip roll timer. The slip roll will be destroyed when that timer hits 0, so you need to get up before that timer runs out. Below the timer, you'll see the objective that was assigned to you based on the loadout you chose. You can press J to open the objective menu, and hover over the resources in the objective to get some hints about where you might be able to find them. Now let's talk about the environment a little bit. Slip rolls are harsh environments you have to survive, but we did make it a bit easier for this playtest. For example, we removed the environmental hazards for the time being, so you don't have to worry about things such as oxygen or cold when you're in a cold environment. In the slip rolls, most of the environmental objects are harvestable. Some of them are also interactable. Some plants will heal you on interaction, and some plants will heal you when you're near them. And some of them will give you energy. You can also find nitrogen plants to pick up or shoot to hurt enemies. Of course, they will also damage you if you get too close to them. Slip rolls are alien environments with different biomes you need to survive and explore to find the resources you need and extract. Aside from the creatures, the other players that are not on your team can also be hostile, so tread carefully. The lifetime of slip rolls are limited, as you can see on the timer shown on the top right. You have to extract what you want and depart before the slip roll is destroyed by the singularity. The singularity is the colossal anomaly you see up on the sky. Valuable resources are hard to find in the slip roll. Some are well hidden, while some of them are just hard to get to. And some require you to kill the boss, so that you can harvest their corpse. And of course you may have to fight other players for them, which is why you advise to take caution and stick together. Remember that if you get killed, everything in your inventory will drop around your corpse for anyone else to loot. You will respawn by a landing pod or the growth chamber built and set as your respawn point. If you're quick, you can run back to your corpse, which is highlighted on your compass seen on top of the screen. You might be lucky and loot back your resources, or find the enemy that killed you around your corpse. Now let's go over some of the core concepts such as harvesting, extracting, and shards. In slip rolls, your main method of gathering resources is harvesting the alien environment. You do this by catalyzing objects and dead creatures using your tool. You switch between your weapon and your tool using the mouse scroll. You catalyze objects by holding left mouse button. Once fully catalyzed, you can pick up the resource either by walking over it or by holding the right mouse button. However, this only works for light resources. Some resources are too big and heavy for your inventory and must be processed first. While using the tool, you can use the right mouse button to pick up heavy objects and carry them, but you're vulnerable as your movement is limited, and you can't use your weapon while holding a heavy object. In order to process these heavy resources, you need to build a processor. You can open up the build menu by pressing B to see what resources are needed to build various structures. But first, you need to stabilize the ground by building a stabilizer. Once there is a stabilizer, you can use the surface around the stabilizer to place structures. Both the stabilizer and the processor require easily found materials you can obtain by harvesting common plants and crystals. Once you have enough of the materials needed, you can build the stabilizer and the processor. I am not going to go over each structure, but feel free to try them out on your own and see how they can benefit you during your slip roll session. Once you have a processor built, you can bring a heavy resource using your tool and use the left mouse button to throw it into the processor. It will start processing and you will get a light resource coming out of the other side. Be careful though, as others can loot your processed resource too. Processing is something you'll have to do quite often to extract valuable resources, and these are found in different areas of the slip world, so I advise you to build small camps near the source of these resources you find them. Keep in mind that these valuable resources are rare, and other players are looking for them too, so these areas will be likely contested. To increase your chance of survival in these contested areas, we recommend you to enhance your loadout using shards. The weapon and armor pieces in your loadout contain sockets, which you can put shards in to enhance your loadout as long as you're in that slip world. These shards disappear if you depart, so be mindful if you think about departing and coming back to the same session. Shards cost Memoria to craft. Memoria is the essence of alien life we can collect by looting the small blue fragments that appear after killing a creature, or catalyze objects that have a blue orb floating around them. You can also find a significant amount of Memoria in treasure chests. Once you have enough Memoria, you can make your way to a forge and mutate shards. Keep in mind the available shards will change every few minutes, so if you don't like the available ones, you can always try again later, or go for another forge. With shards, especially the weapon ability shard, your loadout will be fully enhanced, and you will have an easier time dealing with the bosses and other players. We highly recommend getting all the shards, especially the weapon ability shard, before facing any boss. So we covered the basics of harvesting and enhancing your loadout. Now let's go over extraction and departure. During your adventures in the slip world, you may want to secure some of the resources in your inventory by extracting, since you may lose everything if you die. Keep in mind that you can extract without departing yourself, and continue your expedition. To extract resources, you will first need to find a landing site. These can be spotted from a distance thanks to the blinking light on their antenna. At a landing site, you will notice two stations. One is the packaging station, and the other one is the antenna. Interact with the antenna to call down your dropship. Your dropship will land on a landing site in a matter of seconds. In the meantime, let's package some resources. Any resource you want to extract has to be packaged first. Interact with the packaging station and select the resources you want to package together. This will give you a cargo box that you can pick up using your tool. Pick up your cargo and throw it into the designated cargo section. Remember, these can be shot off of the ship, so you may want to secure the area from other players first. Now you can wait a while and let your dropship lift off without you, or interact with it to hop in. After a short while the dropship will lift off. Your package resources are now secured, and you can claim them on the departure screen. Remember to claim, as any unclaimed cargo will disappear once you return to your homestead. Let's assume you departed and you claimed all the resources you wanted, and now you're ready to craft some items. Let's go over crafting now. The resources you extracted will appear in your storage container. Pick up the ones you want to use in crafting and go to the crafting station. At the crafting station, find the item you want to craft and hit craft. After a few seconds, you will have a new item ready for you to assemble into your loadout at the loadout station. At the loadout station, you will find the item you crafted on the left. From here, you can add it to one of the existing loadouts or create a new one. Well, congratulations, you completed your first loop. If you have the resources for it, you should definitely craft some consumables such as healing potions and take them with you in your next slip world expeditions. Just make sure to add them to your backpack before you choose a slip world. And this covers our survival in a loop premise. Essentially, you have to go back and forth between your homestead and slip worlds in order to progress further. Keep in mind that the homesteads are persistent. This means that everything you crafted and extracted will be there next time you log in. However, this is a playtest, so we will delete the data eventually. Slip worlds, on the other hand, are not persistent. They're timed. That means everything you put there will disappear once the slip world is destroyed. However, Providence is quite open-ended. You can depart whenever you want, craft some consumables, change your loadout, then drop back down to the same slip world. As long as there's enough time, you can go back and forth. This sums up the basic gameplay loop available in this playtest demo. Please remember that the game is still in development, and we would love to hear your feedback in our Discord server. If you're interested in getting invited to the playtest, you can follow us on Twitter or join our Discord server mentioned in the description to find out more. Thank you for watching, take care, and goodbye. One last thing. Stay away from the edge of the slip worlds.